In the mud-soaked trenches of Europe, where every breath tasted of iron and fear, two rifles watched one another across a wasteland known as No Man's Land. The soldiers who carried them had little in common. Different flags, different tongues. Yet their lives depended on a pull of a trigger, a flash of steel, and the design genius of an armorer they would never meet. Between 1914 and 1918, the bolt-action rifle reigned supreme. It was precision forged into steel, the embodiment of empire, efficiency, and endurance. The British soldier clutched the Lee-Enfield, fast, balanced, and eager. Across the shattered front, the German infantryman leveled the Mauser 98, methodical, unerring, and brutally reliable. This is the story of how two rifles defined an era and reshaped the way nations fought and remembered war. In the last years of the 19th century, the world trembled beneath the boots of empire. Naval races, colonial ambitions, industrial revolutions, all driving toward one inevitable result: war. The rifle became the symbol of modern power. Nations poured resources into arsenals. Gunsmiths became national heroes. For Britain, the Lee-Enfield emerged from a long evolution, beginning with the Lee-Metford, refined to fire the .303 round with a 10-shot magazine. It was a soldier's companion, smooth, swift, forgiving. Germany answered with the Mauser, designed by the meticulous Paul Mauser. His weapon fired the 7.92 mm cartridge with surgical precision. Each rifle was a statement. The Lee-Enfield about rate of fire and adaptability, the Mauser 98 about engineering perfection and deliberate power. As the 20th century dawned, both rifles stood ready, harbingers of a storm that would engulf the world. Every rifle tells a story in metal. The Lee-Enfield, quick-cycling, rear-locking bolt, a soldier's dream in the chaos of battle. It could fire accurately even after mud, grime, or fatigue wore a man down. The Mauser, front-locking lugs, intricate machining, built with almost artistic precision. It was the pride of German armories, strong, deliberate, and unyielding. Visual, diagram overlays showing bolt actions in motion. The difference lay in philosophy. Where the British valued speed, the Germans demanded perfection. The Enfield's bolt throw was short, allowing rapid fire, 10 to 15 rounds a minute in trained hands. The Mauser's bolt, though slower, locked tighter, channeling precision and power with each shot. On factory floors from Enfield to Oberndorf, men crafted not just weapons, but reflections of their national character. August 1914. Europe erupts. The Great War begins. British expeditionary forces march toward Belgium with Lee-Enfield slung over their shoulders. German troops advance with Mausers gleaming under the summer sun. In the war's first clashes, at Mons and Le Cateau, the difference was immediate. British riflemen, trained in the mad minute, 15 aim shots in 60 seconds, unleashed storms of bullets that eerily mimicked machine gun fire. German soldiers doubted they faced rifles at all. The Mauser was slower, but devastatingly accurate over long ranges. Its powerful round could punch through cover, helmets, and the air itself with a shrill hiss. Each rifle became legend. Each man behind them, a test of endurance against mud, blood, and unending noise. By 1915, the Western Front had turned into a graveyard of human invention. The Lee-Enfield and Mauser became the last threads of sanity in a world gone mad. For the British Tommy, his rifle was more than a tool, it was his heartbeat. "If she jams, I'm done," one soldier wrote, "but she never truly fails me." The Mauser, though heavier and more deliberate, won the quiet trust of the German soldier. "Every shot is certain," one noted. "When I fire, I know the outcome." Mud-clogged barrels, frost-bit metal, yet the rifles endured. Maintenance was a religion. Oil, wipe, repeat. In the stillness between barrages, a soldier's mind found calm in the rhythm of his rifle's bolt. War tested machines as much as men. The Lee-Enfield's magazine held 10 rounds, double that of the Mauser's 5. British doctrine favored sustained fire, suppression, and momentum. German doctrine prized precision marksmanship, one shot, one kill. Visual, side-by-side firing sequences in slowed motion. The Mauser's Mauser 98 action, with controlled feed and extractor claw, set a standard that rifles would follow for a century. But speed? That belonged to the Lee-Enfield. Under muddy French skies, that difference meant life or death, the Tommy working his bolt like clockwork, the Mauser man waiting for that perfect moment. It was not always the best rifle that defined victory, but the one that fit the hand that held it. As the war widened, so too did the reach of these rifles. From the deserts of Mesopotamia to the jungles of Africa, they echoed across continents. The Lee-Enfield adapted with astonishing ease, fitted with sniper scopes, bayonets, even grenade launchers. The Mauser inspired variants in Turkey, Spain, and beyond, a family of rifles that became almost universal in design and discipline. By 1918, millions of rifles had crossed every battlefield known to man. When the armistice fell silent, their thunder did not fade. New wars would come, and both rifles would answer again. Peace was a thin illusion. The Lee-Enfield evolved into the No. 4 rifle, leaner and stronger for the next generation of conflict. The Mauser became the Carabiner 98K, perfected, shortened, refined for mobility. When another world war ignited in 1939, these old warriors were reborn under new banners. The Lee-Enfield again proved its unmatched rate of fire in the jungles of Burma, the sands of North Africa, and the snows of Normandy. The Mauser served as the disciplined instrument of a mechanized Reich, cold, precise, and unrelenting. Across 2 world wars, these rifles never surrendered their place, long after others had turned to automatics. Even after the Great Wars ended, the Lee-Enfield and Mauser refused to fade into history. The Lee-Enfield equipped armies from India to Canada, its trigger echoing through the mid-20th century. The Mauser system became the blueprint for bolt-action perfection, copied, reinvented, reborn in rifles from Sweden to the United States. Both designs found lives beyond warfare, in hunting fields, in sniper rifles, in ceremonial volleys. Each bolt movement still carries whispers from the trenches: discipline, fear, duty, resolve. Their legacy was not just mechanical. It was human, built from the hands that cleaned them, the hearts that trusted them, and the silence left by their last rounds fired. When time judged their contest, no rifle truly won. The Lee-Enfield showed the world the power of speed, adaptability, and endurance, the weapon of an empire that spanned oceans. The Mauser proved the zenith of precision engineering, the father of bolt-action systems that endure a century later. They were, each in their way, reflections of human nature: ambition, pride, invention, destruction. Across generations, collectors still lift them to their shoulders, feeling that same balance, that same whisper of history. The Lee-Enfield and the Mauser. 2 rifles. 2 nations. One era written in iron, the bolt-action battle that shaped the world.